Hi guys, and welcome to the first ever episode of CZX and the Boys. I'm Zixun.
I'm Junro.
And I'm Jovan.
So the main premise of our show is to talk about some stuff which is lesser known in Singapore. Like for example, not exactly lesser known, but like stuff we feel like we should talk about. For example, O levels and stuff like that. Because we're all secondary school students and we are bored with life. So anyway, as for today's topic, drum roll please. Okay, so I think first up we should talk about the elderly situation in Singapore. This refers to stuff like how the elderly are being treated over here. So anybody wants to start off?
I'll go first.
Alright.
So I feel with Singapore, along with the world having a growing aging population, the younger generation has to step up to take care of them. However, with the long hours that working adults, especially those with young children, take on, it's not uncommon to see them rack on overtime to serve their company in hopes of impressing the higher ups. The problem with this is that they lack the time to take care of their parents and keep up with friends and family, for example. Furthermore, as working adults, they want to leave a good impression on the boss. But at what cost, may I ask? They sacrifice health and family, resulting in a lose-lose situation.
Alright, I think I'll go next. Yeah, so personally, because you already talked about the general situation here in Singapore, so I'll talk about my own personal family. So personally, on the maternal end, both my grandparents have passed away a few years ago. But on my paternal end, before the COVID-19 situation, we used to my family used to visit my grandparents' house weekly just to visit them and talk about some stuff basically and have a good dinner. So to be honest, I feel my family is very different from other families, because in other families maybe um as we've seen, as the three of us have all seen from our school VIAs, values in action, of course. Yeah, so basically there are also a lot of families there's a lot of elderly who basically are staying in places such as old folks home, or they stay alone and basically just go down to the recreational centers in their void decks every day just to chat with other elderly. And personally, this makes me feel quite sad because like the elderly are staying on their own, and basically no one other than the so-called helpers or nurses that are over there as well. And reason why it makes me sad is because I feel the elderly have been taking care of their children since they were born, with their through all the hardships, through their hard work. And yet when the children grow up and the elderly themselves also grow up to become elderly, the children don't repay all these kind deeds that were done to them, and instead just look for an easy way out, easy solution out, such as just putting them in an old folks home basically. Yeah, so that's my opinion. And Jovan?
In my opinion, I think that old folks are getting abused. As on my side, my father and my mother were divorced, and then my grandmother was caught in the crossroads, and now she has to pick between my father and my mother, which is hard for her as in her old age she's almost dying and she needs a place to stay.
Alright, is that it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yep, okay. Alright. So moving on, let's talk about reasons why the elderly are being treated this way. So I guess I'll start off first this time. So personally, I believe it's because people in our current generation or the generation before normally we lead a more steadfast life and like incredibly fast paced. So we are quite impatient at times, I think. And like personally, I feel that's the reason why. Like for example, most of the reasons why is because the elderly are like treated badly is because it's because like they probably have some hard longer time to understand certain things that you mentioned. Like in the older generation, they don't know what an iPhone is or stuff like that. And then when we teach them, they take a longer time to understand. I think because most of us are quite impatient nowadays, like we can't wait a while for them to like do these things, you know? So like I think it has something to do with that. Yeah, that's the reason why. Yeah. Okay, next up.
Okay, to continue from what Zixin said. So some reasons I think why the elderly are being mistreated per se. Personally, I think there are usually two common reasons. One of the reasons is, well, the children are being plain unfilial. So they leave their parents there and then they repay them with what? Nothing but the coldest of hearts. They just abandon there wherever they can because why they don't want to deal with their parents, they think it's a burden. So what to do? They'll abandon them. Some extreme cases, the children even send them to other countries just to get rid of them. I still don't understand why this is the case. The other reason I find would be financial instability. As you can see in the COVID-19 situation, our economy was already bad from the start. And then with this pandemic going on, I believe it has gotten a lot worse. So working as an adult, especially as the main breadwinner, it will be very hard to raise both parents and children, if any. So this results in them having to leave the children at heart at the old folks' home, which I like to think none of us here would like to do so.
I actually
Finally,
didn't know.
I,
I actually didn't know that like some cases they send them overseas. I guess you
Still
learn something new
remember,
every day.
still
Yeah,
remember who
stuff like that.
was talking about it and we were doing oral shit. I just remembered that.
Yeah, I
finally,
guess so. Yeah, okay, Jovan, going on.
finally, I think that the elderly are mistreated because their children are unfilial to them and do not treat them properly. As to add on what Christian say, he, they are people nowadays are getting more and more impatient. This causes these such actions against their own parents, which is bad.
Alright, is that all you have to say? I guess so. Okay. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Uh,
Alright, so lastly, let's talk about ways to solve this problem regarding the elderly. So, anybody wants to start first?
I would like to start.
Okay.
To solve this problem, I think that we should impose tighter restrictions against abandoning elderly so that their children could bond more with their parents, making less inconvenience for places like the old folks home and the government who may need to step in because their children did not take care of them. It will also lessen the chances of the elderly to suffer from depression as when their children leave them, which is a win-win situation for the both sides.
Okay. So to me, I personally believe ways to stop is actually like incredibly easy. Uh, but we all need to be willing to do it lah. So my idea is basically go ahead. Like I know during this period of time it's quite hard to, but like go ahead, visit your grandparents. Just like call them maybe at home, because that's what I do at home now during this period of time. I just call them, ask about them, and just try and like be more understanding to them, basically. Yeah. And besides that, I also feel that uh maybe we could go the route that Joven suggested, but then like I also feel even if you apply stricter restrictions, maybe like those people won't even bother. Maybe they will follow the restrictions, but that I mean stay at their house, but then like it's quite like they might not even care for the elderly that stay in their home. So like I feel even if tighter restrictions are implied, like it might not work. So I feel it just starts with us, basically, and we all need to like do something to solve this problem together. Yeah.
Okay, to add on to what both of you guys said, I personally think that even the younger ones, so contrary to the adults who might have a more realistic viewpoint to life, I think that the younger generation should wake up. They should realize what their parents have done for them and be grateful to their parents. After they have painstakingly taking many years to see you grow big and strong, I kind of wonder how some of you can bear to see their parents grow weak and old, let alone abandon them once they become adults. Also, fun fact to add on to what Jovan has said, not only are there strict rules employed on abandoning your parents, it's actually illegal in Singapore to do so. So take care of your parents and be appreciative, guys. Even as a teenager, where many are in the rebellious stage, such as you and I think that we would want to return the favor and take care of our parents as much as possible.
All right, guys. I think that should be it for today's episode of CZX and the Boys. So I hope you guys have learned something today, and we'll try and understand these elderlies better instead of just lashing out them for something simple such as them taking more time to understand certain things. And because personally I feel like I don't want future generations to treat me like that when I grow older. Yeah. Do y'all have anything to add on?
So personally, I think treat others how you want to be treated. No one will escape the test of time. Everyone will get old eventually. So we should appreciate the elderly as they have much to teach us. So I hope when you grow old, right, your grandchildren will appreciate you just like how you appreciate them so many years down the road.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So thank you guys for watching this video, and do give us feedback in the comments down below because we really want to try and improve in the future. Thank you.
Alright, just to emphasize again, thank you guys for watching this video, and I really hope that you learned something new from all this, and we'll start to respect elderlies again because we took some time to do all this. So yeah, thank you guys.